Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Priceless Possibilities. I'm Alan Ferguson, Vice President of Enablers and Crypto for Mastercard in Eastern Europe, Middle East and Africa. Today I have the absolute pleasure of talking with Dr. Saeeda Jaffar, the newly appointed Managing Director of Circle for Middle East and Africa. Today we're going to unpack stablecoins. What are they? Their utility, use cases and future predictions. Dr. Saeeda, welcome to the podcast. It's a real pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
I must admit in the past, having you as a guest might have been a little bit of a challenge. So firstly, congratulations on the new role at Circle. And secondly, it's fantastic to have you here as a guest today.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm going to dive straight in. So you have the most incredible career journey. You've worked at hugely impressive organisations. You've been a board member past and currently present. You've worked in many markets for many prestigious organisations. Can you tell us a bit more from your perspective about your background?
That sounds like a different person you're describing. But look, I've been very lucky and I've been very blessed in that I've been doing what I genuinely have loved to do from a very, very young age and a very early age. I've always been good at science, math, critical thinking, structured approaches from the time I was young. And that naturally led me down a path that I've enjoyed. I'm an engineer by training and loved it, loved the structure, the rigor, the discipline of being an engineer. And as I was getting towards the end of my education, I started thinking about what's next. And again, was incredibly lucky to be in an environment where the opportunities were just amazing. And very quickly found that consulting was where I wanted to go and where I wanted to be. I loved the work, I loved the people, and I loved the problems and the kind of impact that being a consultant had. So I joined McKinsey & Company back in the day in the US and worked with McKinsey and then at Bain and Alvarez & Marsal for about 15 years. I had the absolute pleasure and the joy of working across many, many continents, so US, Europe, Middle East, Africa, you name it, on a number of different industries. Financial services was always a big part of what I did, but also a very big part of what I did were other industries, tech, as well as real estate, government, you name it. It was incredible and it was amazing. And I got the ability to look at organizations that, work with countries on country level vision, as well as work at organizations that are really like at the point where you're talking about operational improvement to even some organizations in my last roles in consulting around, we only have cash for a week. How do we make it work? So it was incredible. It was an amazing 15 years. And after that, I moved into payments. And there are few industries that are as exciting and are being disrupted at the pace at which payments is changing. And it was just a very natural progression, very natural transition. And then from payments to from a payments technology company to now a very technology-driven company that is looking at redefining the financial infrastructure. So it's just been a natural progression, and I've been lucky and fortunate enough to be able to follow my passion and to just be where I am today.
So your consulting was like the try before you buy, and then you decided that payments is the one? Is that how it worked out?
That's a funny one. When I started consulting, I always used to say, I'll do this for a couple of years until I figure out what I want to do. And a couple of years turned into more than a couple of years. And payments happened to be the one. Payments and I guess technology more than payments.
It sounds a bit like moving to the UAE. I'll come here for 1 or 2 years and then 10 years later you're kind of here for life. Okay, and looking back earlier in your career with the power of hindsight, is there one lesson you wish you'd learned earlier?
So many lessons. So many lessons. But probably the one that sticks out to me the most is perception as reality. And it's funny. When I first thought about this and I first reflected on this, I took this to mean much more of projecting something that may not necessarily be true. But I don't think that's what it is. And that's not how I interpret it as today. The way I interpret this today is when you communicate, when you talk, when you interact, the burden of that communication is on you as a communicator, as opposed to the person who is on the other end. Because you know what? you as a person have probably 1,000 different influences and things that are going on in your head, around you, in your space. It's not up to you, it's up to me. And that it was a very powerful and a very liberating thought, because at the end of the day, it ultimately means I can actually control how and what and how, ways in which to communicate such that it lands with you. So I can no longer say, you didn't listen to me. It's not about that. How can I say it better? So perception is reality.
Love that, perception. So obviously now you've made the move into digital asset space. So from my perspective, my kind of route into crypto and digital assets was actually through blockchain. Most people tend to go the other way around. So around 10, 12 years ago, I was working in automotive and we're looking at putting vehicle ownership on blockchain. And it got me kind of curious around, what is this technology? What are the applications for it? What can it become? Was there a trigger point or something like that spiked this interest for digital assets and making the move from kind of more traditional payments now into what you're doing today at Circle?
So many moments, right? What is a moment? A moment is a culmination of every other moment before it, right? That's what it is. And so there are so many micro moments that led up to that decision. Not an easy decision.
Butterfly effect, I think we call it, right? Good movie on it.
Yes, I think that's a slightly different combination of micro moments. Yes, indeed. But it's one of those things where there were so many things, right? I remember from years and years ago when digital assets and stablecoins first started, and there was a lot of curiosity around where will this go? What will be the use cases? I remember thinking last year when I was looking at some of the numbers and some of the volumes that stablecoins today are in circulation, that they clear. Some of the partners that are actually starting to use stablecoins, some of the use cases that they're being used for. And I remember, again, at each one of those micro moments thinking, there's something real here. There's something happening. It's not niche. This is very much on the way to becoming the infrastructure of the future. And that was truly, truly exciting, because I do believe what we're living through today is a generational change. It's a change that is going to, in many ways, re-sketch the plumbing and the financial infrastructure that we use. And to be a part of that is just hugely exciting. So there were so many micro moments that led up to that decision, but a super exciting decision. And I'm super excited about where we are and how we go forward.
Very good. We spoke a little bit about digital asset space. What's a fun misconception people have about your role or in digital assets?
So this is funny, but there are so many interesting ideas that a lot of different people have about the digital asset space. And what's interesting about digital assets is a lot of people think that, if you're in digital assets, surely you're day trading and you're looking at price charts all day and, you're trying to figure that out. And that very well is one part of the space. But I think there's a whole different part of the space that is busy looking at regulations, looking at compliance, looking at risk, looking at settlement. And that part is the part that is working across the ecosystem on building that financial infrastructure that we talked about. And I think that's probably one of the things that a lot of times people may not necessarily realize right off the bat, the true breadth and the depth of the digital assets world, and how there are vastly different use cases, if you will, for the different digital assets that are out there.
I think that's a great point. I think both use cases and also one misconception I see a lot is around the people working in this space. And I think if you look at so many of the organizations now, we obviously had a great event today where top talent from traditional industries, payment industries, remittance industries are moving into the space now, and I think you're seeing much more of a convergence of many different topics into one. And just maybe talking about that convergence or kind of the growth of digital currencies, where do you see us in terms of trust and understanding of digital currencies? We still tip of the iceberg, or we're quite mature in our journey? What's your perspective on kind of the trust, understanding and adoption of digital assets? I know that's a big question, so maybe we can hone it down maybe into GCC or MENA.
Yeah, so look, I think we are past the point of being niche. I think we are well on our way in terms of scaling. And this is not based on sentiment, this is based on facts. So what are the facts? Let's look at the facts. The facts are that in the last year, trillions of dollars were cleared on-chain. Facts are that regulators all around the world already have regulation or are working on regulation to create a framework in the digital asset space. And the facts are that some of the most reputable partners all across the world, be it in the banking space, be it in the merchant space, be it in any space, they are all working with us and digital asset players on bringing the best solutions to market. So if I look at the facts lead me to believe that we are well on our way. The trust is there, the foundation is strong, and now is the time to build and scale and grow into the future.
And I guess, obviously, with stablecoins, I would say 2025 was the year of the stablecoin. You'll probably say 2024 and 2026 and beyond is the year of the stablecoin as well.
Say every year.
Do you think the heightened focus and excitement on stablecoin in 2025 has really elevated that level of, one, understanding, and two, trust?
Look, a lot of things happened in 2025, right? There was a very large regulatory moment in 2025, the Genius Act, which basically created a very good framework in the US which allowed which allowed stablecoins to be used as digital dollars, with very clear rules around transparency, around coverage, around redemption rights, right? Around so many things, around reserve, all of that. And I think all that has immensely contributed towards getting us to where we are today. So absolutely, I think 25 was a great year. I think 26 will be great, another great year. And as I said, I think the future is amazing.
So I want to touch a little bit more on Circle.
Yes.
So obviously, recently got your ADGM license. Huge congratulations on that. And I think a real statement of intent for the region and how you're going to operate here. You're obviously new in to head up the region as well, so very heavy hitter coming in to run the region.
Thank you.
So with all that in place, I'd love to understand the vision, the strategy, and what's next for Circle in the region here.
Absolutely. Look, we are extremely excited about our license in ADGM. And we are so proud to be able to build in one of the most regulatory forward environments in the world. I think the possibilities are amazing. ADGM is an incredible regulator that truly works with the ecosystem to balance innovation with responsibility. So I couldn't be more excited about it. I think where we are is we are looking at multiple things. We will look at, number one, use cases. We will look at which use cases are already scaling and see how to double down on those. Number two, we will look at geographies. We're looking at Middle East, Africa, and beyond, right? And see how can we then, again, take those geographies, be focused, and grow them and continue to serve the needs of our customers, our partners all across. So it is truly exciting days, and I look forward to doing a lot in the region.
Very good.
With our partners.
And you talk about partners, obviously Mastercard and Circle have an immensely strong partnership. We have a really cool use case around stablecoin settlements.
Yes.
Perhaps you'd like to expand on what we're doing on settlements a little bit more, and then equally, how can Mastercard facilitate and support your journey of growth in the region as well?
Absolutely. So look, the settlements use case is a very interesting use case. And just for clarity's sake, right, the way a lot of these payments work is that there are two parts to the payment. There is the first part, which is around the authorization of the payment, right? The digital part, yes, no, let's do it. And then there is the second part, which is the actual money exchange, the settlement, the transfer. Those are two slightly different parts. I think using some of what we've done, we've been able to bring the two together to be able to allow that settlement to happen near real time. And that's a super interesting use case because it allows both the issuers as well as the acquirers and the merchants to be able to release a lot of working capital and to be able to become a lot more efficient in the use of their balance sheet. So I'll stop geeking out now. But it's a fascinating use case, right? And I think it's super, super interesting. So absolutely, I think that's one area we should double click in and we see how that's going to scale and how that's going to grow. But equally, there are so many other use cases if I think about what we can do together. It's around P2P payments, it's also remittances, it's around B2B payments, large corporates or small corporates settling cross-border. It's around payouts in different countries. It's around, I could even go all the way to things like loyalty and trade finance using programmability. So I think the use cases are just endless. And what I'm most excited about is continuing to partner and continuing to just do things together and scaling them together.
Very good. We look forward to that journey. I want to maybe shift gears a little bit and talk about women in leadership, particularly in payments and technology. So you obviously gave us a little outline at the start around your incredible career, and many of our listeners, I'm sure, aspire to have a very similar career trajectory as yourself. You've picked a lot of industries that are traditionally led by men. So I want to understand any particular challenges you may have faced, any advice you can give to others in the similar space.
Look, every career has its challenges. Every decision you make has consequences, right? So to think that will not be the case is at least not something I have seen. I think what's fundamentally important is how you deal with those challenges. And what I have found is both men and women are happy and supportive to help find those solutions to those challenges. And if you love what you do, it's easier to be motivated to find those solutions. So I guess the one thing I would say is there will always be challenges. There's no two ways about that in my mind. However, take that in your own hands and say, how can I fix this? What can I do? And then go out and find those partners, friends, supporters that will help find the solution to those challenges.
I love that. Control what you can control. And I'll be passing this advice on to my 4-year-old daughter later today. And, you've had a monumental career. What kind of motivates you and inspires you to continue to push boundaries?
It's partially, I love change. I love doing things differently. Challenges excite me. I think that's one part of it. But I think the other very real part of it is I'm also lucky and blessed to have an incredible group of people around me. My family, my husband, my son, my parents, my brothers, my family, right? I could not ask for a more supportive family who put up with me during all kinds of doing all kinds of crazy things. But also, I think professionally, the network I have, the people, the friends that I have, I'm again truly lucky and blessed to have them in my life, both professionally and personally. And that's what gives me comfort, and that's what gives me the ability to say, let's push the boundaries and let's do something creative, innovative, and different.
I get a lot of sense of the engineering background in you coming through and, continuing to want to build, and I think in Circle, there's so many things to go after, right? You touched on a lot of the pain points and things that we can collaborate on together and problems that we can solve for. Yeah. So again, I see that engineering sparkle in your eye thinking about what we can build and do. So maybe just finally, I would ask kind of one piece of advice you'd like to give to the next generation of talent entering the payments industry, what they should know, and maybe something that could inspire them to think about payments. I'm
going to cheat a little. I'm going to give you 3.
Okay, I love it.
So the first thing I would say is find your passion. I mean, look, there's going to be challenges along the way, no matter what you do. Again, if it's something that excites you, it's so much easier to then get over it and figure a way forward, right? But that's paramount, number 1. Find your passion. 2 is find your people.
Yep.
Life is not an individual sport. At least it hasn't been for me, and I cannot imagine it being. It's good to have people around you who always tell you the truth, people who know things better than what you know, people who bring out the best in you, people who push you, people who challenge you, people who support you. It's so important. Find your people, find your tribe. So important. And the last thing, super critical, there is no substitute for hard work. None. At least I haven't found it. I mean, again, you're going to be looking at hours, you're going to be looking at grinding, you're going to be looking at just doing what needs to be done. There is no substitute for that, and don't go in expecting that there will be. But these are 3 things that have helped me in life, that have helped me go forward and get to, and hopefully continue to go forward in life. And I hope they help others too.
It seems to be working, so solid advice. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saeeda. I want to maybe just go into something we didn't touch upon. It's off script. Try and get you a little bit flustered and catch you off guard.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to go in for some rapid fire questions. Firstly, in one line for our listeners, what does Circle do?
So our mission is to raise global prosperity through the frictionless exchange of value. So whenever value is being exchanged, and if there is friction in that, we want to minimize that. And we want to help uplift global prosperity.
I was never going to catch you off guard on that one, was I? Secondly, capital markets, payment or tech. What excites you the most?
The conversions. It's all of that coming together and more coming together into this beautiful moment that we're at, where so much is possible. So it's truly the convergence.
Very good. And one myth about digital assets you would like to disappear?
I think it probably goes back to what we were talking about, right? The sheer breadth of this space. And a lot of times people are familiar with perhaps one part as opposed to the breadth of the space and how fast it's changing and how fast it's evolving. So that would probably be it.
And can you describe your leadership style in one word? Or many words?
Oh, I'll give you the phone numbers, why don't you? And then you can tell me what the teams say.
So I'm looking forward to our deeper collaboration and partnership in the region, and then we can check in a few months. I'll give you some feedback as well.
That sounds good. You have homework now.
And how did you pay for the last item you bought today?
Digitally, of course.
On card? Stablecoin?
All of the above.
And if you could pay for anything with just a blink of an eye, what would it be?
Depends on who's actually paying the bills.
If it's a treat or not, I like that. And a leader, living or deceased, that you've admired the most?
You know, there's so many leaders, and to pick just one would probably not be being fair. There's so many leaders, and frankly, so many people that I admire, everyday people that I admire so much for doing extraordinary things every single day. So if I had to pick one, I would say it would be that everyday person that every single day does extraordinary things, that if you just stop and you look and you listen, truly inspire me more than so much more.
And I would love to know, do you have a Mastercard?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
I've had the same card for many years that gives me incredible perks that I love and I used too many times a day. That's all I'm going to say.
Very good. Saeeda, thank you so much for your time today and sharing your insights and journey with us. So many key takeaways. The future's bright for stablecoin. It's only going to continue to grow. The use cases we can collectively unlock, ranging from content creator payouts, cross-border payments, settlement, and so much more. To everyone listening, thank you so much for joining us today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do follow us on LinkedIn and look out on the EEMEA newsroom for more conversations with innovators shaping the future of payments, technology, and beyond. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and thanks for joining us.